Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Myth of Empires. You're joining me, Ricky, and I'm joined, as usual, by Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
Now, last time we just took you guys through the character creation screen, showed you the rundown of that, but we've taken our time, made our own characters, and we have now spawned into the server. I've currently got it sitting on this little screen because I thought it might be worth showing you guys. When you first spawn into the game, you'll get the option to choose two different types of operation mode. You have the Myth of Empires mode, the recommended one, which has 8 angles of attack. You press the left button, you hold it, that is, to block, and then you just move in the direction, and you release it to attack. Or you have classic mode, which is 4 angles attack. You sort of swipe the angle and click it, and you use right click to block. That's a little bit like, that's kind of like Mountain Blade and such, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Mountain Blade has the 8 angles as well, but yeah, it's in the way it works, it's more similar. Yeah,
the way you sort of swipe a direction and click, and then it'll, So it's a little bit more like Mountain Blade, that one there, but I'm actually going to keep it on the Myth of Empires one myself. I actually do prefer that.
Yeah, I've been liking it, so I think I'll keep it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just do a little demonstration on my screen here, but yeah, so you hold the left, and then as you rotate around the directions, your block will actually move to those directions, which I quite like. And then when you release, you'll swing. Whereas before with the right, you kind of have to, you could sort of do that, but I remember it not being quite as smooth in other games. It's quite smooth in this. Being able to block like that. You've got a few different strikes as well, don't you? You know, so you can throw some elbows. Wah. You can throw some body punches, hit them in the liver. Oh, let's get uppercut.
And I like the way in which you can choose the direction as well, which I think is a lot easier than, say, like Mountain Blade.
Okay, so I have spawned in. Let's see where I am on the map. Okay, I'm over on this portion. You should be able to see that, Aaron. Whereabouts are you?
I'm 3697-688 minus 1327.
Well, we're going to go meet up, and then we'll get into the game, into the base mechanics. All right, well, we found each other.
Yay!
This tattooed, bearded, long-haired man here by the name of Zoo Earl.
I'm Lord Earl. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes. Bruh. Yes, it's Lord Earl.
I am Lord Earl. I have arrived on this strange world.
Come back from fighting the Covenant.
Yes, no one place can hold me.
That's it. Those of you who watch our Halo series will be familiar with Lord Earl, Master Chief's. I don't want to call you a sidekick. You're quite a commanding personality. I don't think you'd take that too kindly.
Exactly. If anything, Commander, I've completely forgotten.
Words escape him. He was just fighting
Words escape me.
And now he's stuck in this 500 years in the past.
Yes, Lord
Earl
has gotten time sickness.
Well, obviously, you know, Lord Earl went and got really pissed up on some planet because, you know, you got yourself some tats. You're a bit dirty. You've been falling around. You lost your clothes. You've probably been gambling.
Who has dared steal from me? But yes, I'll play as Lord Earl. You are, frankly, just a normal person.
I am, frankly, I am far from normal, thank you. I am Bruce Lee's estranged brother. Same father, different mother.
I'm sure.
He left my mother, Sheila, when I was only in the womb.
It was frankly just terrible.
Oh God! I didn't even see that coming when I named him.
I thought that's half the reason you named him.
No, I didn't. I see it now. It's open for puns. It's open for ridicule.
It is.
That's all right.
It's completely open. This is Myth of Empires. Open world. You can obviously play with a bunch of people. We have our own private server so that we can sort of show off stuff and not be interrupted by others, I guess. And yeah, you do have multiple start points. We've just started on like the first one, but you can choose quite a range of areas throughout the middle chainer. So yeah, like when you set your server up, you can actually go ahead and choose a bunch of different areas to choose from, and then you can select where you want to spawn in those areas. And yeah, obviously we've got the basics. Quick bar down the bottom, chat screen, on our left. Got the instructions on our right for some basic movements and keys. We've actually changed our inventory key from I to tab, just because in this game, I doesn't just open inventory, it actually opens up the screen for everything. So you do start on your inventory and that, but it's also where you craft stuff, and then you could go along looking at your sort of crafting recipes, which you can unlock as you go. Obviously, skill screen, quest screen. You will be able to get subordinates later on, which will be fun to play with. Tactics are sort of like skills, I guess, that you level up, and the better you are in certain skills, the better perks you get. So, for instance, bravery here at the moment has a chance to trigger HP recovery when being attacked, but it increases the chance as I level it up, and increases the restoring of HP in that. And then achievements here, so things we do, we get achievements. There are no events because obviously we're just doing our own server. If you are on the official server, they do have events. Nobility, there's quite a few ranks in it. We are our normal commoners, though Lord Earl is never truly a commoner. But yeah, you level up and get bonuses as you level up to your character. And it goes all the way up to the Grand Prince there. Then territory is obviously the territory you own. As of yet, we have none. The log here will tell you, in general, just stuff you're doing with the chatting, stuff you do in the guild. And then obviously mail and rankings as well, but we won't really need that because we've got our own server. And yeah, there's
Exactly.
You also may notice that... Oh, you're behind me? Cool. Probably noticed that up in the corner, we've got, on the right side, we've got the day. It is day-night cycle, it goes through. And then finally, on the upper left, we have our health, stamina, and food. So we do need to eat.
You do need to eat. It's easy to forget that you do, and then all of a sudden you will be in a world of trouble. Yeah, so it's a lot like games out there like Conan Exiles or Ark if you played them. Obviously, Aaron's just gone through a lot of the menu there, and it's quite deep, and we will look further and further at those things as we continue through. But when you start, you're going to walk around, and you're just going to hold E and collect a whole bunch of garbage. That's what you need to get started.
Yep, most survival games, just go around and grab whatever you can.
Exactly. And just a little thing as well to note about the UI when you're in the game like this. It is quite cluttered, but you can hide some of the elements. So Control-T will hide the chat pane in the bottom right, which I'm going to do as we... Well, it is just us in the server, so we don't need to be doing those things. And also in the bottom right, though I do find it handy at times, there is the little instructions for the different keys. And that will also change depending on what you're doing. So if you pull out a weapon and such, it'll give you different keys. So it is good to learn through that. But if you're done with it, Control-H to hide that away. I believe you can also hide the quest panel, which is just on the right there below the time of day and such. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure. Otherwise, you can press L as it says, and it'll take you to your quests, which are actually pretty easy to get done. So we have a main quest here, which is to collect some grass. And we have another main quest, which is to select a skill as our expertise. So when you're done, you will get a claim reward button, and you'll get what is stated in the bottom there. So in this case, it would be 50 XP and 2 copper coins. So I just need a little bit more grass.
Yeah, I think the quests for like the startup and like showing you through it is actually done pretty well. Like and having that little experience jump as well, just as you complete them, helps. Rather than just like a tutorial where you're like, oh, do I have to? But this way it actually gives you something.
It gives you something for it. You will find yourself doing a lot of these things anyway. So just consider it experience and free money. Though I haven't really looked into what the coins do. I'm going to assume it has something to do with recruiting people, I guess. But I don't know for sure. either way, we'll figure that out as we go. This is actually quite an in-depth game. There is a lot in this game. It's a little overwhelming at first, but it also gets me a bit excited because there's so much you can do. I like starting from the bottom and building my way up. All right, so I think we will probably just spend a few minutes collecting up some grass, some sticks and stones and such so we can get our first tools. And then we'll get back into it.
Exactly. Get ourselves some equipment.
All right, so we've managed to collect a few materials. And actually, just quickly, if you look at the right there at the quests, I have finished the collect grass quest. And I can actually just tap X to claim it. And I don't even have to go into the panel to get that. So I just got my 50 experience and a couple of coins. Otherwise, we're going to go into the menu now. So we want to build up our first tools. And when you hover over them, you can see what they cost to make. And right now, the only thing I am missing is some rope. So you can make the rope by double clicking it, or you can go down and you can go to more, and you can actually make as much as possible just by dragging that slider up and then hitting confirm. So I'm just going to make as much rope as I can because it's pretty important from memory.
Yeah, it's pretty useful.
And then I'll just get these queued up. You can queue up the tools. We'll get an axe and a hammer going.
What I like, and people can probably see it on my screen or once Ricky's done, you'll see on his that when you equip them, your character actually wears them.
Yes,
and
you do.
I'm actually wearing both the hammer and the axe at the moment. I just love it. I just love it. That little touch.
Yeah, it is good. I tell you what, though, this loin cloth or whatever we've got, we have tied that thing up tight because that is supporting some hell weight without dragging it down. You know what I mean? We'd have some serious plumber's crack going if this was really, otherwise it'd just be around our ankles.
Yeah, there's a lot of weight it's holding up, and Lord L has just added even more weight with these tools.
Big penis joke. And I did kind of skim over it real quickly there, but your crafting queue is obviously on the top here, and then your inventory is down the bottom. So I took the tools and I dragged them onto my toolbar. But I don't know about you. I'm going to ask you. I have very particular keys I like to keep certain tools because I play a lot of survival games.
Yep.
And most of this goes back to when I played Minecraft. But I basically always need the axe on 2 and whatever I use for like a pick or whatever on 3. Like that is just I have to, and sword on 1.
I'm very similar, but I always have my axe and hammer on 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then 3 is usually my weapon.
Yeah, I've basically always got to keep it the same because it's muscle reflex.
Yeah.
Are you using an axe there?
Yep. There we are.
For
See
stone?
That? Look at that. Yeah, look, I just clicked axe out because I wanted wood, and then I just saw the stone, and I was too busy to you. But I think I did actually get something from it.
No,
so.
I think you do. It's just not as efficient. Yeah. But yeah, obviously from what we're doing here, the hammer is your pick. Now, I don't know if later you will make probably a better quality actual pick for like ores and such. I don't know. But when it comes to rubble, getting it from stone, you just want this hammer and you give it the old whack. And you can style on it if you want. You can give it some of this and you can give it some of that.
I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there are actually different types of stone around that give you different materials. And so if you're looking for rubble, for instance, there are certain ones that will give you sand and that, but they'll give you very little rubble. And there was another one that I think I came across that gave me actual stone, but only a little bit of rubble. And then there was others that gave you more rubble. And I think it's really just the color. Yeah, because when I first started playing, just to test this out, when we first installed it, I was like, oh, I need rubble. That's easy. Went up to random stone, and it gave me like 1 rubble, but like 20 stone or something. I was like,
see, I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I thought this boulder was invincible for a second there, but it turned out I had to hit it in another spot. Just a little thing as well. As I mentioned before, I've brought it back up just to show, but in the bottom right there, with the key controls, when you're holding a tool, you can see toggle continuous attacks, which is B. So if you hit B, it'll highlight yellow. And then what that means is you can just go up to these and you can just hold left click. no need to constantly release in order to do the swing. So you can just hold B. And that's the case for any other tool as far as I'm aware, like the axe and such. So that's a handy little one, honestly. I prefer to do it that way. All right, well, I've got a load of rubble, but I need to be cutting down a tree myself here. So let's chop down this big sucker here. Yes. Deforestation is in my name. I like the little cuts that come up. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the little attention to detail.
Yeah, they angle with the strike, which is quite cool. Oh, imagine if you could cut down a tree in like 6 hits like that. Freaking He-Man over here.
What are you talking about? Lord L can cut down a tree like that. What is he doing?
Right now, maybe. An overgrown stick is giving you a hard time. So
I would like to point... Lord L would like to point out that if you'd been watching his screen, I had already defeated one.
Okay. I thought you were hitting the one stick that whole time. I was like, well, Lord L needs to hit the gym.
I destroyed the other one, and then he walked over, and I was like, oh, he's going to comment on
it. You know me too well. Got to keep that ego in check. Lord Earl is... You know, he's a proud man. Ooh. He's a proud man. Okay, I don't think we really want to be starting a fight. But while I'm looking at it, as you can see next to that boar's name, they do have the different sex shown. So there's a female boar, for example. So just so you know, there are male and female animals, and I guess that'll come into play when you're doing animal husbandry and breeding and stuff like that, I assume.
Yeah, I guess it would. Especially if you look after like certain animals that like I've just lost the word. But if you're for instance trying to get a ram, for instance, or something, it's gonna be a lot easier when at a distance if you're just like, oh yeah, no, that's a male sheep, that'll do. Yeah,
exactly. So just something to note while I saw it, they do have that shown, so you can differentiate. And as I said, it'll probably come into play later. We'll worry about that when we get to it though. Okay, well, we've done a bit more collecting here. I might actually... So I haven't put in any skills yet, so I'm just going to have a little look at that. So, crafting recipes.
Yeah, I've already got... I picked the fire pit, and that's about it so far, so might be a good idea to have a look.
Oh, yeah, so here's the coins in the bottom left. I don't know if they come into play with this or if they're just there. And then
there are NPCs, so who knows?
Oh yeah, I just don't know if you will need to pay coins to get certain skill unlocks or not. I don't know. Just because it's showing it at the bottom, but otherwise it could just be showing us. And then you have your recipe points, and this is what you'll use to get your items. So the tick indicates that you already own it. And then when it is highlighted like this, it means you can unlock it. Because as you can see, there are level requirements to unlock different skills. So right now I can just get utensils. If I left click that and then confirm, I can now make a campfire. So that is under workbench and tools. The next tab is building and furniture. I like building, so I'll put my points into building. So we'll go with wooden foundation. We'll go with the structure support, the door structure, and you know what? Let's get these simple stronghold and basic defensive buildings as well. And then into your weapons. So the first ones you can get are the coarse pole armor. I'm going to get that. Coarse crossbow. It does appear just to be a normal bow, but nonetheless, some of the translations are a little off in this game, like the simple pull arrow next in the tree. And I'm going to get the shield as well, because you can't go wrong with a shield. Throwing rock. I'm not going to bother with the throwing rock for now because I've gotten the bow. Next one along is armor. And the first one you can get is just some basic wooden armor. So we're going to go with that. We have to be level 13 to get our first skill in taming. So nothing there yet. And up here we can unlock. Oh, you know what? I've never known how to pronounce this word. Maybe that's a bit sad to admit. But what is that? You know? Poultice. Polis.
Poultice.
Poultice. Okay.
Yep.
Poultice. The herbal poultice, which I'm going to assume is some type of healing.
Yeah. It's like a cream.
Oh, yeah. So it's made of coarse hide and wood ash. And we can't do anything with the cards. So that is how you unlock some of these skills. So other than that, we have to level up a little bit more before we can get any of those. And yeah, and you got talent and skills, but you have to level up the actual skill before you can unlock any of these. And some of them require you to level them up pretty far.
Yeah.
So
eventually it'll happen. Like it doesn't take as long as you think, but it does still take a little bit. But usually you're too busy like building a place to live and stuff like that first anyway. So
exactly. But I mean, if you look at it though, lumbering, I cut down a few trees and I've got 31 to lumbering. I've hit a couple of stones and I've got 24. So even if it does take 150 to start, really that's not too much. I'm sure there are some that'll take quite a while to get your first point in, but overall it's not actually too bad. I think, yeah, physique, I've just got to do a little bit more and then I can get my first unlock. Climb over the wall and climb the wall without equipment on. One specific wall? I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I assume that just allows us to climb.
Yeah. If you notice as well in your skill and talents, if you go down to the bottom of any of the skill trees and that, there's these what looks like curled up dragons. And over time you get expertise points, and if you put them into that with the plus symbol, that actually increases the rate at which your experience increases.
Oh
by.
yes, I see. I can currently put so I've got 5 expertise points, I believe. Yep. Yes, and I can put 1 into lumbering if I so wished. I might hold on to them for the minute because I don't know what's best to put them into. But no, I didn't know that.
I think it's the case of like, especially if it comes to like weapons and stuff like that. You know, you might want to put it into, say, the bow or the shield or something. You're like, oh, I really want this to be my main weapon, for instance. Then that's obviously a good choice. But also, if you want to be a builder, you want to make sure that you can craft stuff a lot quicker. Then yeah, putting it into the crafting menu and going to crafting. I've put 1 in crafting here, yeah, you can just do that. So yeah, it just helps build your character in a little bit more of a specific way.
I mean, it lives up to its name, expertise points. So whatever you want to specialize in, you pop it in there and you will gain levels at a faster rate. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's handy, actually, because there is a lot of grinding in this game, and we have the server set on default. We haven't upped the collection or crafting or anything. It is on the default settings, so plenty of work to do.
So over here, I have crafted a campfire.
Oh, we got a fire.
Very similar, obviously, with everything. When you go into your crafting menu, it tells you what you need. I needed straw, branch, and rubble. Crafted it, and then to open it, you just press E to go into it. It does need fuel up here on the top. I'm just going to give it. You know what? I've got this big log here. Let's put that in there.
Oh, you got a log? Okay, cool.
Yeah, a log.
I guess Trigger lights it?
Yep, Trigger lights it, and so I'll put the locusts in there. We can cook up. That's pretty much the only thing I've got to be able to cook at the moment.
Yep, I just popped some in as well.
Yep, and then trigger, and it'll go. So,
you know what? I've got a few branches. Let's put a few of these in here so it doesn't bonk out too quick.
So it says here in the corner, if you hover over the little fire, temperature. Different wood and fuel have different temperatures after being ignited. Some items can be crafted only at enough temperature. So I'm going to guess that means that there are certain things like meats and fish and that are going to need more than, say, grass. Because you can use grass as a fuel, but I'd say that, yeah, if you go ahead and try and cook some meat from, say, a boar, it's probably going to be like, no, you need sticks or a log or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, let's get some skewered locusts cooking, eh?
Yeah.
Because we are going to need some food. I mean, we're not doing too bad right now, but we might as well get some on hand. And
exactly.
I mean, I'm just going to split that in half, and I'll take 6 of those. But all in all, I think we've covered a lot of the basics now. Now we really just need to establish a plan and set off. I think first things first is finding somewhere to build a base, somewhere that we think is good. Yeah,
and luckily, because it's our server, we have the entire world.
We do. apart from where the NPC's strongholds.
I mean, yeah. Obviously, there are bandits and stuff as well. We've got to watch out for. So
yes, you do have to be careful.
May look at making actual weapons and armor as well.
Actually, now that you mention that, I am going to craft some weapons and armor. Or a weapon more specifically. Actually, I can make a bow. I'm going to make a bow. Can't make too many arrows, but I'll make those as well. Okay, cool. And also, when you do craft a bow, just while I'm doing it, there's obviously going to be multiple types of arrows, I assume, because what you need to do is you actually need to take the arrow and you need to drag it onto your bow.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there we go. So now I've got those stone arrows ready to go. Well, I think we've covered off the basics. We've shown the general rundown of crafting and expertise and the UI and such. We've got ourselves off to a little bit of a start. We've got a bit of food in our pocket for when we need to pop it in our bellies. And for now, I think we just need to suss out somewhere to go. And that might be something for the next episode.
Yep. Well, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this. You've learned something. And if the game does look good, I guess we can try and put a link or something in the description for it, so you can have a look for yourself. Hope you have fun with it.
Otherwise, join us next time.
Yeah.
As we continue our adventure. We're going to take over this place.
Exactly. All of it shall be Lord Earl's. and frankly. Lord Earl's and frankly.
You're just going to give me the stables or something, aren't you? You're just going to be down there, like, hand me a shovel and be like, all right, that's you. That's all you. That's your bit.
Lord Earl does need peasants.
Mate, we can buy peasants, all right? I ain't no peasant. I'll be a peasant corraller.
All right, everyone. But until next time, to be continued. Bye-bye.
We'll catch you next time.